What's going on, people? I'm Levante. Welcome to my channel, and I want to go over topics of last video, well, ending topics, and that was a comparison of some of the micro knives that I own and a few I don't own. So as you guys know, I picked up the Smith Wesson M&P Shield Plus, and today I had an opportunity to not only shoot that, I shot my 365XL, my 365, the M&P Shield Plus, and I also shot my brother-in-law's Taurus GX4. And I kind of want to do a rundown with that. I recorded some footage, and I realized after I recorded the footage at the range that none of it was usable, because none of it was actually on the firearm, the range, the target, or anything. Because my GoPro kind of fell over. So yeah, so we're just gonna have a talk. Alrighty, so I took the Smith & Wesson to shoot at the range on today because I hadn't shot it until now. Until this morning. So I was excited to do that and give you guys my synopsis on what I'm going to use as my daily driver for everyday carry, and why I made the decision. So at the moment, I'm just clearing all the weapons here because all of them are loaded. So ammo flying everywhere. Last but not least, the P365. This pack came with 3 12-round magazines. So I'm gonna give you guys a view of what's on the table. I don't have the actual Taurus with me because it doesn't belong to me. So I'm just gonna have a talk about that one. So lo and behold, the Shield Plus, the P365, and the P365XL with the Romeo 0. So I'll start with the Smith & Wesson. So my synopsis on this, I really love this firearm. I had a few gripes when I first initially picked this weapon up because of a few little minute things, but really one little minute thing, and that was this slide catch button here. Initially, it was really hard to actuate this button unless you had a particular angle on the actual button. I was thinking that they may have placed it a little too far forward. Even with my long fingers, it's like it's just touching it. But it wasn't that. It was just, you know, brand new firearm and it needed to be broken. See, I just snapped it into place with the button, no problem at all. And I really use this a lot, so I'm glad that's working functionally now. Yeah, so I really love this trigger. You know, flat face trigger. I'll rack it again just to show you guys that it is indeed empty. That flat face trigger, like, it have really no take up there. It's like boom. I'll show you guys again. That's the wall, that's the brake, that's the reset. Not super audible as far as hearing it, but it's very tactile to where you can feel it. The only other thing that I really wish Smith & Wesson would get on game with other manufacturers, and that is installing, I'm trying not to flag myself, installing, you know, night sights from the factory. Not those weird fiber optic sights. I don't really like those. Don't really find them to be too functional, but some actual decent night sights. Well, the price point for this, I paid $522, and that's before taxes for this particular weapon. So it's not excessively expensive that I can't go and justify buying a pair of night sights. So I'm gonna put that one down. Oh yeah, recoil wasn't a problem, especially with having that that's empty. that 13 round magazine in there, enough, you know, purchase air, for getting a good grip on there, and you know, boom, not having any issues with getting on target with that. And now it's something that is not too comparable because it is the smallest weapon on the table, but once you insert the 12 round extended magazines in here with the actual, you know, pinky extension there, it's really the same size as, let me see if I can, they're empty, so no worries. Same size as having that XL. So I really enjoyed that. Honestly, I really believe that this shoots the flattest. And it's odd because it's the smallest firearm, but it shoots really flat. Honestly, I think the barrel is the same, either 3 inches or 3.1 inches, which is the same as the Shield. But honestly, I can maneuver and I can shoot this gun really well. Shoots a lot flatter, not a lot flatter, but shoots flatter in my opinion than all three, both of the other two firearms. But as far as functionality and shooting more pleasurably, I think the Shield takes the cake with that. I'll rack it again, show you guys that it's empty, and show you guys the trigger pull. So that's the wall, that's the brake, rack it, and that's the reset, brake again. So this is a really phenomenal trigger as well. It has a little almost curvature. Well, it is a curve. It's curvature right there, so that, you know, your finger feels like it fits in there pretty naturally, opposed to having one of those weird hinge safety triggers on the M&Ps 2.0s. Even, you know, the Gen 1 M&Ps had the same trigger, but I like this style of trigger a lot more. This is much improved. Where I can see a potential problem in the future is, you see that in between there is like some gaps. I really feel like lint could get into that and cause obstruction inside of this trigger. So I think in the future, Smith Wesson needs to just rethink this whole design and get rid of that hinge safety or that actuating safety there, and just use a normal flat face trigger. So that's, I'm not saying that will be an issue, but potentially, you know what I mean? I thoroughly enjoy that these come with night sights from the factory. I don't want you guys to trip because I'm flagging myself, so I'm just gonna pick the GoPro up. So it's blacked out at the rear. I really think I think it glows in the dark as well. So I think all three of these glow. I can't remember exactly, but they glow at night in low light situations, and you know, good to go. This is indeed empty as well. No magazine. I'm not even going to put the magazine because I have the ammo in there. I don't want to take the ammo out. Gripes with this. I love this firearm. I love that the trigger face is flat. It do have a little arch at the very bottom there. I think that encourages you to put your pad of your finger on the trigger properly. But yeah, I like this trigger a lot. I'm gonna turn it this way so you guys can see. So this is the wall there, brake, and you'll reset there, and you'll brake again. So that's a really great trigger as well. Again, the favorite of the bunch is still going to be the Shield Plus. It's like they did something magical to that trigger, to where it doesn't feel gritty. It doesn't have that weird spongy feeling to it like the Hellcat has. And yeah, it shoots really great. My gripe with this particular setup, not the firearm, but the setup, honestly, is Romeo 0. the carbon blowback from when you fire this weapon, it gets into the lens of the red dot sight. It collects dust, so when you put it inside of your waistband, it's going to get like particles from your clothing, cotton or whatever on it. So that's an issue in my opinion. I'm really thinking about ordering, because this came with the firearm, ordering the actual plate for this. It costs about $70 on Sig Sauer website, and putting just iron sights on the back of it and just rocking some night sights and throwing like a TLR on here or something like that and calling it a day. It's a great weapon. I love it. Shoots well, shoots really flat. You just got to get a good purchase on it, because any small firearm is going to have a little jump to it. As long as your grip is fine, you compensate for that particular issue at hand. Comes with the flesh fit magazine. I was going to have an issue with this because I'm like, okay, Smith & Wesson, these are not available on your website, only the 10-round magazines. So what I found out, if you go on Sig Sauer's website, you can purchase these 12-round extended magazines, excuse me, that comes with the regular P365. There's an actual, they sell this base plate to go on here. So it gets rid of the pinky extension. Excuse me. I'm outside and I have allergies. It comes with the pinky extension. You can take this off and put this base plate on there. And this base plate costs about, I think, $5. And the actual magazine though, like this particular magazine costs about $60 from Sig Sauer. So that's where my gripe comes in for magazine availability. For the Shield Plus, there's nothing available right now. So hopefully Smith & Wesson can keep up with the demand for extra magazines, because there are none available. I've searched through a ton of retailers and you can't find diddly. And to touch on the Taurus GX4, that gun is really comparable to the size of this. It's the only thing that's different. I think the grip handle is about the same as far as angle. It's a little thicker here and it's a little wider here. Yeah, that's really the only difference. If I had the standard P365, the 10-round magazines, it would feel about the same length. You almost fish for a place to put your pinky, and that what makes it kind of hard to hang on to, but that trigger is really amazing for a sub $400 gun. That gun is $399. You can find it for $378 certain retailers. Hop on gun.deals and you can find just about anything for a lesser price than we will find it at any other retailer. But it comes with a factory white dot sight in the front, and it comes with a black dot sight in the rear. But that gun shoots really well. It's really loud and concussive as hell, but it shoots great. It does shoot a little low and to the left, but that could have been not necessarily malfunction, but user error. But from what I've seen from other people that have shot that particular firearm, it's one guy told me that was saying that it shot maybe 3 inches below where your sights were actually lined at. So I see that's a problem. Even at 7 yards he was shooting. I'll post a link to that particular video in my video description, so you guys can watch his really in-depth video on the Taurus GX4 if you want to hear about that in more detail. And next time I go to the range, I'll get some actual footage so you guys can see me shooting these different weapons. You guys can make a more executive decision on which weapon you want to fire based off the shooting video. Don't make your sole decision off of my shooting though. I'm not a marksman by any means. I shoot well enough to defend myself and my family, but I'm not a marksman. I'm not a competition shooter. I shoot recreationally for the enjoyment and for training purposes to get better at, you know, the whole craft of shooting. But the GX4 is a great price and also a great gun for the price. It's not too much to harp and moan about for a $400 gun. If you do complain about it, buy something that's not $400. Buy something that actually has, you know, more time put into it, more consideration, something that's going to be more accurate. But if your concern is accuracy, buy something with a longer barrel, 5-inch barrels. You have some M&Ps. My son is talking. He was on the trampoline. You have some with 6-inch barrels, M&Ps. You have some Glocks and stuff like that. Honestly, if I could justify buying an Ed Brown M&P 2.0, I would love to have that gun, because outside of this, that Ed Brown has the best trigger I have felt on any striker-fired firearm, period. Second to that, I would place this third. I would place the Shield third. Second to that Ed Brown, I dry fired or Zev. I think maybe a Gen 4 Glock 19. Those Zev triggers are freaking ridiculous. But beside that, that's all I really have to say about these weapons. I think I'm going to continue to carry my P365XL because it has night sights. One, it has the red dot. Granted, I wish it had a better co-witnessing type of setup going on. Like if they would have pushed the Romeo Zero a little farther forward and do an actual iron sight back here, I would prefer it better than that little cutout. Unless the cutout edges were raised a little bit, be it that you can see a little better at lining that up with your front sight. Just until I get a little TLR6 on here. That way I have a flashlight and I get some good, maybe Trichicon or some type of good night sight on here to justify carrying this 24/7. But that's all I have to say. Thank you for checking in, watching the video. Most definitely like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell notification for me. That way you guys can be notified for future videos. And I appreciate you guys watching again. Man, y'all have a good one. Happy hunting, happy shooting, and enjoy, man, that gun life. Peace, much love.